All right, you're not seeing things. We are actually back here for round two tonight on Sportswire Radio, and with good purpose here tonight because we have a lot to speak about here in the world of wrestling, as we call it, Sportswire Wrestling. And we've got here with us, in his first words, since he won the DKW World Heavyweight Championship, and he even goes by a new name. He even looks like $1,000,000. He's going to talk about it and some. He's been here before. But this is the first time we get a chance to hear him with the new name, also with the title, and by himself here in his very first words. He needs no introduction, but because he is the brand new DKW champion of the world, he is going to get that introduction that every champion, everybody else gets here on Sportswire Radio, and he definitely deserves it. So let's get right to it because the weekend has started and some. So with without further ado here on the Sports Report, the number one global sports show, the brand new DKW Heavyweight Champion of the World, The champ is here. How you doing, champ?
I'm doing great. How about you?
Let me know in an hour or so that question. Ask it to me again, and I'll tell you then, depending on how my voice is. But obviously, quite an introduction for sure. Definitely wanted to make it extra special for you because you are a brand new DKW champion of the world. And champ, for those that are listening and watching here on Sportswire Radio, talk about how you were able to do it, and congratulations, by the way, on becoming our brand new DKW Heavyweight Champion of the World.
Thank you, Tom. I appreciate that. I really how it went was Forsaken. He put up a good fight. He did, but I knew, with all the training I've been doing, I was gonna come out the gates and I was gonna destroy him, and I did. And matter of fact, I don't know if you noticed, I'm the only man that has ever kicked out of the Forsaken bomb.
I did see that. Yes, I did. I did see that. And you went through a lot in addition to that because you definitely had some real blood, my friend. You definitely took a few ounces of blood away from yourself in order to take that title.
Yeah, Forsaken, he busted me open.
I'm surprised you still aren't bleeding since the last match. I mean, I'm surprised you don't still have blood on you.
It was rough, but that whole thing alone should tell you I'm on a whole nother level than the rest of this DKW roster. I'm bringing prestige to this title, and Forsaken gave me the respect I deserved.
He did. He definitely did. Post-match comments. Surprisingly, he did do that, actually.
And pretty soon, everybody will respect me and respect this title for what it's worth.
Well, I have a bunch of comments here, predictably, but I have to ask you the question, champ. You do look a lot different since I saw you on TV. We can go to Dark Cryptic Wrestling on YouTube to watch the match, and from the last time you were here on Sportswire Radio. So, I mean, I almost have to ask, why the sudden look, at least, a sudden change in looks? Because you look like $1,000,000 and you look different, and kind of talk about that here.
Well, after that match, I realized that, I'm done with the gimmicks. I'm here to climb the ladder and get to the next level as I did, and I'm still gonna keep climbing. And I just realized I myself am done with the gimmicks, and I'm here for the the rest of it until I get everything I want.
Well, time out, champ. I mean, you've got the world heavyweight title. You've got one of the top prizes in this sport, the DKW world title. What else could you possibly want?
Really? I don't need another title. I'm satisfied with it. But I'm still going after the respect from every wrestler in the backyard scene.
Well, talk about that. I mean, it's interesting you bring that up because obviously we have on a number of different people in the backyard scene on Sportswire, even professional wrestlers around the world. Obviously, I'm sure you're aware of that. So, I mean, are you maybe looking at your peers? Are you looking at the different champions? We even had some recent champions here on Sportswire, whether it's ADT from the Alliance Wrestling League, who dressed very similar to you. Jason Storm, another counterpart in the Midwest. There's Craven Rage. I mean, we can go down the list of world champions in different promotions. So, I mean, do you feel that you want to be different than your peers? Are you looking for something in particular? I mean, talk about why you brought that up and the lack of respect or maybe more respect you want from your peers.
You know, as Forsaken said, I'm a champ. I'm not a kid. And I feel everybody is going to see me as that until they realize they get in the ring with me and they'll know I really am on that next level. I'm not just a kid, I'm a champ. And that is the respect that I want.
Okay, let me ask you this, and I will get to people in a second, but Matthew Forsaken used to always say, almost in a way, he was the champion to kind of spite everybody in DKW. Are you going to take a different perspective? Because I almost feel like, in a way, every day he held that title, it was almost to spite you and everybody else in the company. So maybe talk about how you would compare rather than how Mr. Forsaken had held that title.
Well, as you said, Forsaken just wanted to hold this title out of spite.
Pretty much.
My approach. I want to prove that I am the best. So if that's what it means to have to hold a title, I'm gonna hold the title.
Well, you're definitely going to attempt to do that here. So let me get to some comments here because a lot of people have tuned in and said things. I want to say, well, obviously, to the good people at Dark Cryptic Wrestling, good evening, fellas. This individual who I know you know very personally, Mr. Omen Black. Of course, Omen was just in the ring also earlier this week on IMF TV, also IMF Wrestling 666 on YouTube. I'm glad you found a suit that you can be buried in after I come for that title, you little twerp. Now get off my show and go play with your action figures. Now, what action figures do you actually have up on the wall? And what else would you like to say to Mr. Omen Black?
Well, I do have a couple, and
I see.
false. So I do have a lot of AEW figures, but
I see that. That I see. I mean, I'm impressed.
Omen, I don't play with them. All right, these are collectibles, okay, and they are very pristine, just like this title. Hey, and Omen, you may want to come take this title. Go at it, but you ain't getting it.
Are you sure though you want to go and take that approach, especially when it comes to a guy like Omen Black and his size, his strength, what he's doing in different promotions? I know you know Omen very well, so I don't have to kind of explain who Omen Black is to you. You've seen him firsthand, but are you sure you want to take that approach? I mean, obviously, in a way, it was a similar approach, I guess, than a similar approach to Forsaken, how he had kind of gone after Omen. I mean, what do you say to that?
You know, Omen is he has some respectable strength for sure. But as I said earlier, I'm here to prove something. If somebody's trying to challenge me or challenge this title, I'm not gonna let it happen. I'm gonna stand right here in front of it.
Okay, fair enough here. Some important words from our new champion, Mr. Joe Stone. You deserve a champ. And also, Omen would like to say in caps locks, by the way, you're welcome. He changed his clothes and his name, but yet the still same little fill in the blank has a target on his back. Now, if you don't mind, we saw you last in the ring literally a few short days ago as Combat Joe, yet you were Joe Stone. So I have to address the question that a lot of people are going to be wondering tonight on Sportswire Radio. Why are you Joe Stone now rather than Combat Joe?
Well, Combat Joe, let's just say he wasn't as much of a respectable guy, such as you can see. I'm a little bit more professional. And
Yes, I see that. I'm impressed.
Coach Craven, he had given me some advice
Oh,
on.
he did.
He did, and just take the same advice. He's just here to help, and well, look at me. I look like $1 million.
You definitely do. I tell you what, you look like you got $1 million on you also.
You take his advice. Look at me. I'm a champ.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm definitely looking and I'm impressed that you actually took Coach's advice because, depending on who you are in Sportswire, it's kind of a mixed bag on that, but I'll certainly leave that to the coach and everybody else that speaks with him. And I know the coach will be on here definitely tonight, but I have some more comments here. Somebody else we know who is one half of the IMF Tag Team Champions, also former DKW Hardcore Champion, the popular monster himself, Mr. Soldier GB. Even a broken clock gets it right twice a day. What do you say to that?
Soldier, I got no business with you, but the smack talk, man, I don't need none of that. And you might be on my level, but I have no business with you.
Well, can I ask you a separate question? I'll leave the Soldier point out itself, and I know Soldier's going to come up here tonight for sure when Nicholas Crenson comes on, and I'm sure that I'll see Soldier and Omen definitely in that spot, but I want to obviously give you the opportunity to speak for a little bit. And obviously IMF has a champion, Jordan Netz, who's been very impressive, and Jordan has obviously done a great job in representing their championship over the past several weeks. So, I mean, what's your impressions on the IMF champion, Jordan Netz, and how does he compare to you?
Oh, Jordan, I've seen a couple of Jordan. He looks pretty strong, pretty flashy. I haven't faced him. I don't know about how hard he is to beat, but I respect him. He's a champ too. He earned it. He seems like a pretty well put together guy.
Oh, absolutely. I definitely agree about that. And I want to give a shout out to the IMF. Please support them on YouTube, as always, at IMF Wrestling 666. They're closing in on 1,500 subscribers. Congratulations also to the guys on getting their LLC. But, you said something that I kind of wanted to piggyback off, Champ, and tell me your thoughts, because obviously you're here with us, right? You're our world champion, and Jordan is also the champion there. And I think back to the days for our wrestling fans in the audience when you had, let's say, the NWA champion was Ric Flair and the WWF champion was Bob Backlund. Or I was watching something maybe a few days ago where it was Bruno Sammartino challenging Buddy Rogers, the Nature Boy, the WWF versus the NWA, or Nick Bockwinkel and Bob Backlund, AWA versus WWF. Now, you're the top guy in DKW, and Jordan is the top guy in IMF. I mean, would you ever want to see a champion versus champion match in that degree, in that fashion? Is that something you'd be interested in?
I'm not going to call anybody out, but I'm also not opposing to anything. In times come, maybe there will be a match. Maybe there won't. I guess we'll just have to stay tuned to IMF and DKW and find out.
I think that's an excellent point there. That is an excellent, excellent point. I definitely would love people to support these great companies. We love DKW and IMF, and they always love our stuff here on Sportswire. I want to make sure I also say hello to some more people here. My guest that was on here a little while ago, Mr. Ace Reed, who, by the way, is the host of the Wired Up podcast, could be a great landing spot for you, champ. He is with Backyard Elite Wrestling all the way in Australia. He's at _backyard_elite_wrestling. Also YouTube as well, Backyard Elite Wrestling. Says, good day once again, Tommy. I feel like I just saw you. Omen would also like to tell you, let me tell you this. I already have a spot on the Wall of Fame in DKW before you ever will. I mean, you have a thought on that?
Omen. I, you know what? I won't even argue that. Maybe you do, but who holds the greatest title in DKW? I think that's me.
It's Joe Stone. Yeah, I mean, you do hold the title.
So, Omen, that's cool, man. This is what you need.
Okay, well, I'm sure Mr. Black is certainly going to have another response, which he does, and I have a lot more comments ahead. Didn't I dog walk your old man, Kron? Didn't I beat Forsaken first? Didn't I best Jock and Phoenix in a handicap? What have you done? That's right, best Forsaken after I weakened him for you. You're welcome. Man, there's some fair points from Mr. Black.
You know? All right. But see, you can say you weakened Forsaken all you want. But what's the deal with you not being able to beat him? You just weakened him? I mean, I faced him multiple times before you have. So, who weakened him for who?
Sounds like an AC/DC song. Who made who almost? Okay, well, I guess stay tuned for that to be continued. Soldier says, sounds like he's scared. I don't have any business that sounds scared to me. What do you say to that?
You know what, Soldier? That trash talk is just pouring out, huh? And that's fine. You might be a little lonely over there. Said, got no business with you. Omen, right. I'm gonna talk to you. The Soldier, I got no business with you.
Well, I guess you'll certainly have to see what happens with Omen because Omen, I know, is going to be in the ring next weekend in this whole WCE versus IMF thing. And I have a bunch of comments I'm going to get to, and I want to say hello to the coach in a second also. But I was curious, actually. I mean, what do you make of this whole WC and IMF situation? I mean, some people say that IMF has clearly had the upper hand over WC. Others say, let's see what happens when they square off in the ring next week. I mean, what's your impressions on all that?
Well, IMF, I'm not going to dog on them. They're a good company, and I've been looking at some WCE too.
Okay.
Both have their fair share of talent, and I'm gonna stay tuned myself. But I don't know what could happen, and I'm not saying that IMF has had the upper hand, but I have to tune into that and find out how that's gonna plan out.
Well, certainly, obviously, if you've watched the shows, which I know you've been a busy man, champ, but there are some people that felt, well, WC talent wasn't able to kind of hold their own. And we even saw a WC talent officially in the ring this past week on IMF TV and Dash Andrews. And Dash, I guess, did okay in the ring. Certainly didn't have the upper hand, I would say. His partner in the match, who I guess at one point was WC, but I don't think they would want to acknowledge him after some of the, I guess, rather peculiar stuff he did in the ring, at least in the tag team match, they certainly didn't have the success. But again, Nicholas Crenson, Sean Jovi going up there, obviously Soldier, Omen, Freddie Daniels, everybody else will have to see what happens here. But I do have some more comments. Zero Deus, obviously Zero's from WC. Love Zero, of course. Soldier and Omen are inseparable. Of course, they do everything together. Okay, well, if you don't mind, I'd like to bring up Coach for a second because Coach is here and Coach is going to be with us in a little while when Mr. Crenson joins us for sure. And anything you want to say to Coach, anything that's on your mind that you'd like to tell him? Obviously, you mentioned that maybe some of the words he had given you, you would use towards your victory over Mr. Forsaken, and anything you might want to say to Coach?
Yes, Mr. Coach, thank you so much for the advice, and I obviously listened to it, and a little something happened. I appreciate the advice. Thank you.
Okay, well, that's certainly good. We'll certainly figure that out. Want to say hello to somebody from the Alliance Wrestling League, Mr. Dylan Andrews. And Dylan was at the end of their show on Alliance Wrestling TV, where we saw ADT retain the title in the last man standing match against AJ Morgan. And Dylan's brother is AJ Morgan. And we kind of peculiarly saw Dylan do something to AJ that a lot of people did not expect to see on AWL TV. And he says hello, and I thank Dylan for tuning in. Love Dylan Andrews. Very excited to see what our friends at the Alliance Wrestling League do. And Dirty Donnie says minor steps. This person here, I don't quite know. Mephisto. Yeah, who made who? Who made you, brother? I don't know who he's referring to, and I don't know much about him. So we'll say thank you for tuning in. We will have to see, as Omen says. Sounds like he wants Omen. I mean, do you want Omen?
In times come, I would love to rip Omen apart, but I'm very, as you said, I'm very busy right now. But in times come, Omen, you want to make a match happen. I'm not declining any offers.
Okay. Well, you know what? I guess we'll have to say stay tuned. And somebody, I guess, forgot the name change because they said Combat Joe. So you're Joe Stone now. So I think I'm sure you're going to get a lot of confusion now in public because everybody's going to say, "Oh, hey champ, hey Combat," but now it's Joe Stone. So it's almost like you've went from when The Rock was kind of like the people's champ when he became corporate Rock. And I'm not saying you're going to have that type of attitude, but you've kind of gone in the same way. And Oben has all I got to say to WC in September. Be ready for the Midwest 4. Ooh. Uh, Stay tuned, I guess, right? I guess so. I guess so. I guess Champ was confused as well. Dylan wants to say no relation to Dash Andrews. No, definitely not. Dylan Andrews, I can say with guaranteedness, is not related to Dash Andrews, and he's a lot tougher. He's a lot bigger, and I would definitely know he would hold his own in a ring for sure. DKW, Midwest 4, Dirty Donnie, Midwest 4. And speaking of people checking in, who we might see later, the resident rock star, Sean Jovi, says, resident rock star checking in. Anything you might want to say to Mr. Jovi? Anything that's on your mind toward him?
Not much towards Sean Jovi. I haven't really tuned in much, but I've seen a couple matches of his. He's all right too.
Okay, I appreciate that. All right, so you know what? We're here on Sportswire Radio having a wonderful time here with the brand new DKW champion of the world himself, who they now call Joe Stone. Now, yes, I'm going to have to remember this name, ladies and gentlemen, as well. Mr. Joe Stone, and he won that championship, which you can see on Dark Cryptic Wrestling on YouTube. And my name is the Reverend Tom Bryce. I am the man behind Sportswire Radio. And if you like what you hear from us on YouTube, you can give us a like and follow anytime at Sportswire Radio 6579, and also 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. You can listen to all of our great content on sportnarium.com/player. You can follow us on Instagram as well at the Sports Report 2021. And we're going to also have more coverage here coming up in a little while as Nicholas Crenson, the new Messiah, is going to be in the house, and he's going to have a lot to say. I am sure we're going to see, obviously, Coach Chris Craven is going to be in the house. We're going to see a number of different people that I'm sure are going to pop up and say hello here over the next while. But right now we are talking with our reigning, defending DKW champion, Joe Stone. And Joe, I want to ask you, what does it mean to you to be the DKW world champion?
It means a lot that I have really climbed the ladder to where I am now. About a year ago, I never would have dreamed of having a title or having the respect of Matthew Forsaken. But hard work, it got me here, and it means a lot to me. And there's much more to come.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just really excited to be able to call myself the world champ.
It's a big deal to be a world champion. I don't care what promotion it is, where it is, when it is. To be a world champion is a really, really big deal, and it's a tremendous honor. And I mean, what are your goals as DKW champion?
Well, I would like to defend this title a lot, but the thing is, you're not just gonna get a shot at this title. You got to earn a shot at this title. So, as much as I would love to get out there and start defending, I got to scope out and find somebody who deserves this title, and then maybe somebody can get a shot at the title.
All right, well, fair enough here, and obviously we'll have to see what the future holds. And Nicholas Crenson, who's going to be here with us very soon, says, "Congratulations, Mr. Stone. Congrats on the big win from Sean Jovi, the resident rock star." And also, we have here, "You earned it, champ. Your in-ring ability has grown so much." Do you feel like you've grown a lot over the past several weeks, even from when you just came on Sportswire? I mean, talk about that.
Absolutely, Tom. I definitely have improved a lot. And, as much as some of that goes towards coach, thank you. But it's
I'm
also
sure he'll appreciate that because I think you're the first person this week that was like full, like, "Thank you, coach."
not only that, the hard work and training that I've put into the past couple weeks. I think it's really paid off in terms of in-ring capability for sure.
You look great, by the way. You definitely look like $1,000,000. You look like you're worth $1,000,000. You got $1,000,000 in your pocket, and you should because you got a title that a lot of people are going to certainly want to see you defend here very, very soon. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm stunned. I'm speechless because just here to be with us, it is his show after all. He can do that because it is his show. Mr. Omen Black. Omen, I'm speechless. The floor is yours.
Let me get this straight, Joe. You want to get on my show and say you're going to rip me apart? Is that what I'm hearing?
Listen, Omen, I'm telling you,
You
not
take off that $5 suit when you talk to me. You say that with some oomph in your chest.
Omen. You're gonna find out when you come in the ring for this title. I will rip you apart. You are
Son,
not ready.
didn't I whoop your dad's ass? Didn't I whoop your uncle's ass?
Listen, you might have whooped him, but
Didn't I whoop Jock and
could you?
Phoenix at the same time?
You couldn't take it. I have. I beat him.
You know what? I said it last night on James Taylor's podcast. I turned a new leaf. Since I got Jordan back as my brother, we're good now. Now Omen's back. Omen's back in the competition mind state. I got nothing holding me back, Joe Stone.
I come. I can destroy you, and I can destroy your mindset. It don't matter how you come into the match. I'm going to rip you apart.
You got a couple wins after what, a year-long losing streak? Come on. Make it make sense, Joe. But now, listen here. There will be a time when me and you step in the ring because you're the only one that I haven't beaten. The core members of DKW who I haven't beaten yet. I'm not talking about Phantom. I'm not talking about Jester. Those guys are clowns to me. One guy looks like a sex slave. One guy looks like a poor excuse for a clown.
You know what, Omen? That's fine, but that's never gonna happen. You'll never defeat the world champ. All right.
Now, Tom, I don't know if you know this. If he turns that camera to the left a little bit, you're going to see the DKW Wall of Fame.
Yes,
yet,
actually, I can. I've heard about this. Yes, I have.
You know what? We can look at that. That's true. You might have a couple things on the wall.
Where's your spot?
Good question. Good question.
That's right. You just did something for the first time in your career. You finally accomplished something, Joe. I'm proud of you. But now I'm about to bring you back to size, Joe.
You know what?
Summer Bash, and maybe then, may not be. But I guarantee at some point when IMF decides to show up back in DKW and make Ohio relevant again, maybe one day I'll take that little bell off you as a favor.
Interesting. Well, if you could do us one favor, Mr. Black, make sure that I saw your most recent match, your IMF tag team match. Make sure that other guy who called himself Black, no, it's okay. I got this one. that other person you were in the ring with named Black, never comes back to the state of Iowa and then has to rechange his name. That's all I would have to say. He should rechange his last name and not come back to the state of Iowa again after what I saw in that match. All I'm saying is, if I'm WCE, make sure that person you never acknowledge on your TV again. The way
I'm
he
going to say
wrestled that
this.
match.
I'm going to say this, Tom. After that match, there was a singles match between me and Mason Black. That match will never go on air for how bad it is.
It should be buried. It should be buried. And I could see after when Mason was down, I think Levi had him. I thought Levi was going to kill him in that match. So my point.
I'll give Joe this. You're better than him. Barely. But, Joe, that little belt yours, I could take it when I want. Especially from you. But you know what? I'm not going to waste your time on my show. Have fun. Enjoy your time on my show. Tom, it's always a pleasure seeing you. I'll see you later on when...
I was going to say, Omen, I'm sure Mr. Crenson comes on in a little while. I'm sure I'm going to see you then, right? I'm sure that's the real business.
You for sure will, because someone will actually talk from WCE.
Oh, well, this is why I'm going to see you then. So I'll let you go, Mr. Black. You're a busy man, I know, and certainly wiping the stench of the other Black from his stains on the ring and IMF. So I'll let you go, and I'll see you in a little while.
By the way, Joe, I want you to extend a message to Kron and Forsaken for me.
Oh, well, that was quick. What did you think of that, Mr. Stone?
You know, Omen talks a big game, and I know I might talk a big game too, but as seen, back that up, and I guess I'm just gonna have to find that.
Well, I'll tell you what, my friend. I got a bunch of comments here after that, so let me go and show them to you. Dirty Donnie says, "I think I am 1-0 versus Joe." So you want to address that for us?
Dirty. All right, man. The scores, that's whatever. But let's look into what happened here. I believe I beat you in when you came here. And the only thing is you couldn't defeat me where I was, at a very low point in my skill. You won't beat me again. And to be honest, Omen won't beat me again, but he stands a way better chance than you, Dirty.
You know what? I'm gonna leave those words as is because I think a lot of people are gonna certainly have some questions there. But Dirty would also like to say, but much respect to Joe as well in DKW. Absolutely, always love what DKW brings to the table. Big things in your future, champ. No question about that. Zero Deus would like to say, settle down, Alistair Omen. Your gimmick is totally original. Sean Jovi wants to say IMF is mid. Boy, wow. WCE come with some fire tonight here. I mean, I guess somebody told them come with the fire. I don't know. Omen's always talking about how he's got it good, but dude is always angry. Why so? I guess I'm going to say rickety because we're a family station on Sportswire, so I'm going to certainly let people's own imaginations run wild. If IMF is mid, Jovi is Reggie LVVS. Dude just sits on a porch with Soldier Boy all day being grumpy. Well, I mean, I'm going to let those guys speak for that. I'm going to let them. Sitting on the porch, mad as blank, chain smoking into the night. So I guess that's Dylan who's chain smoking. But you're not a smoker, though, right, champ?
No.
Yeah, you're not a smoker, though. I can see that. Yeah, you're like me. But I do have one champion that would like to say hello and has a question mark, if you don't mind. This is the ROEW champion. He's from the state of Michigan. Obviously, we know in football, Ohio State and Michigan, right, is that rough and tumble rivalry there. But that is Jason Storm, the wild card. And he says, what's a Joe Stone? Would you like to respond to the ROEW world champion, Jason Storm, the wild card?
Well, Jason, I have seen your matches. And I will say, very impressive. All right, I really don't think that you're that bad of a wrestler, and just like times with Omen, as time moves forward, I might just have to test you.
I mean, Michigan and Ohio, obviously, it's a natural rivalry. It's a natural thing, and maybe a lot of people would like to see that. Obviously, Jason Storm is the wild card. He's been very impressive as the ROEW champion. He's mixed it up with a whole different slate of people. Jack Delta, Jackson Law. He's been in other companies as well. And, he's a guy that's doing a lot of great things. You can follow the ROEW on YouTube and Instagram at ROEW Backyard Wrestling. And Sean Jovi says Reggie who with a question mark. Omen, how much you had to drink tonight? That's from Dylan Andrews in the AWL. So it didn't look to me like Omen was drinking, though. Omen just looked like he was just kind of the usual Omen. So I didn't really see that. But then what do I know? I'm not a drinker. DKW has not invited me yet. What do you say to that, by the way?
Who said that, Tom? I'm sorry, I cannot.
That would be Jason Storm. He's the ROEW World Champion. He says he has not been invited yet to DKW. What's your opinion on that?
I'm a very busy man, and we'll just let management handle that.
Okay. I like the answer. I like it. I like the, I like it because we're trying to structure things on Sportswire again. So I like the fact that, you gave the political answer and Zero says, oh, exclamation part, man. Maybe he meant man, not men. Soldier would like to say, Zero, when we come to Wisconsin, I'm going to slap the hell out of you. I wouldn't doubt that looking at Soldier's size, but we'll find out, right? Jason Storm, you are welcome anytime. Okay. Nicholas Crenton wants to say Mason Cuck, meaning the guy I was referring to on IMFT. But I don't know if you saw the match, but there was a 6-man tag match for the IMF tag titles. And WC had one wrestler, Dash Andrews, and another one that was a former WC wrestler. And it was like, I don't know. I don't think he knew what he was doing in some of the spots in the match. Just, and I'm not a wrestler. What do I know, right? But I'm just watching it, and there are certain things you pick upon. Zero would like to say you guys are silly for working with Mason. Yeah, well, I mean, there's a lot of people silly out there in the world. Mason Black is the Voldemort of Wisconsin. That was a funny one. Aren't y'all family? Mason Black, Omen Black. I don't think Mason and Omen are related, though. I don't think so. It's only the beginning for Joe Stone. Can't wait to see all he accomplishes. Absolutely. I mean, is there one or two things in particular that you want to do different as champion that Forsaken didn't do?
The first thing, I don't want to lose it.
That's a good answer, by the way. That's a good answer.
And second, like I said, I just love to defend it, and while doing that, earn the respect of many others. That's really all my goals.
Okay, all right, that's fair. I could certainly appreciate that. And we have another 10 or so minutes here with our brand new Dark Cryptic Wrestling Champion of the World. And his name, again, is Joe Stone. You can follow Dark Cryptic Wrestling on YouTube at Dark Cryptic Wrestling. And they're going to be a part of Summer Bash, which will take place from July 5th to the 7th next year. And you can follow DKW on YouTube for more information and get in touch with the company itself. And my name is the Reverend Tom Bryce. And Soldier would like to say Dirty is 2-0. Omen also says that, and then also clarification. And Jason Storm would like to say, funny that WCE can comment, but get on camera and choke. Well, you haven't choked tonight. The good news is you have not choked tonight. The good news is you look great. And the good news is you're going a lot of great places. We're all excited about that. WCE Keyboard Warriors, WCE can only work their thumbs, but not the right. Well, Nicholas Crenton's coming on here very soon, so we'll have to find out. Oh, yes, it is, but Darkron wants Jason Storm. Well, so I guess then it goes back to your question. So you're not getting Jason Storm if he comes here. You're getting, who knows, right?
Jason Storm, you, like I said, talk to management. I may not want you, but somebody else. Never know.
But, if you don't mind, as we'll have a few more minutes with you, I mean, there's a possibility when you think about it, right? Yourself, Jordan, and Jason. You guys are young world champions. You guys are up and comers. And I think people would want to see you guys in some combination wrestle each other, no?
That may be something people want to see. And just like I told Jason, I'm very busy. I'm gonna let management handle that.
I could see you're a busy man. I could definitely see it.
Like I said, I'm not opposed to anything. I just got to, contact management. We'll find out.
I know we have a few more minutes with you, and I wanted to ask you just on Summer Bash here, real quick, which is obviously I've heard different things. I heard Dirty Donnie talk about it on James Taylor's podcast. Obviously, shout out to the nemesis James Taylor, but I almost feel like that this is going to be, I've compared it almost to like, I remember when Ozzy Osbourne had started Ozfest. And originally, the reason that Ozzy Osbourne had started Ozfest was because he couldn't get booked on Lollapalooza, which was stupid to even think it's Ozzy, right? He's the godfather of heavy metal. He's a legend, right? But I kind of think it's the same premise here because if you think about the backyard wrestling community, we don't have one kind of event, almost like a WrestleMania or an Ozfest, where all these different companies from different places can kind of come together, converge, hang out, see who's the best, and kind of have something that we could all build upon. What's your opinions on Summer Bash, and do you hope to be champion by then?
I hope to be champion for as long as my career is reigning here in DKW. But as far as Summer Bash goes, I am very, very excited for Summer Bash. And it's a very big opportunity for everyone in the backyard to get together and prove whatever they want to prove, or just fun either way. And I just feel like that's a big landmark for DKW and for IMF. So that's something very exciting for me, for sure.
No question about it. And I think a lot of people are going to be very excited to see it because so many companies are going to get. I keep saying it's like Ozfest to me. I think it's very similar to that when Ozzy had started Ozfest. And I think Ozfest went on for a long time to kind of be that summer event. A lot of people, I think, were brought together because you kind of saw all the almost like 31 flavors of heavy metal. And I think backyard wrestling, it's the same thing here. Zero would like to say, bro, if you want a WC guy who can get on camera and spit fire, here I am. I have Nicholas Crenson on in a few minutes. I'll have to see. That's up to WC and Zero if they want to come on. I'll definitely see. Maybe let me put my makeup on. Oh man, Zero. A lot of talk in the chat. Time to back it up. Proud of our champ. So am I. I'm definitely proud of our champion. Keep up the great work, Mr. Stone. Those three are the future. Yes, I think Storm, Jordan, and yourself. And it's a great time, I think, in backyard wrestling because now we have three young champions that are going out there and going about it the right way. Zero needs to get dialed up and get shut down. Well, maybe. Summer Bash is going to be the best thing in the backyard wrestling scene. Summer Bash is going to bring the backyard scene together, and I'm very happy to promote that here on Sportswire Radio. I'm very happy that I could be a part of that, and I obviously hope to be there, and I think a lot of people hope to be there as well. Soldier, don't be jelly. I know him. Well, I'm not going to say who's prettier than people's wives. I don't want to get into that, but I'll leave those people aside for that. So before I get to closing thoughts here, I'm going to bring on Nicholas Crenson, and I'm sure Mr. Crenson's going to feel some of the fireworks that Omen and Soldier have been going back and forth at. But what do you want to say to the people that have supported you in allowing you to become the DKW World Champion?
Well, I'd like to say to everyone out there who is rooting for me and has been rooting for me, thank you for the huge push. The fans are also a big motivational thing and helps you motivate.
The match got a lot of views, by the way, on YouTube. We're talking like a lot of views between you and Forsaken.
I feel like that was a great match, and like I said, Forsaken put up a heck of a fight. That's why that was such a great match. We were both just so beat and exhausted, and a lot of people like to see, two very respectable and strong guys going at it until they got nothing left. And I feel like that's a great accomplishment for me to be able to go that far. So that's probably why we got so many views on that. And obviously a title change.
Oh, we definitely did get that change. And a lot of people did not think that change was going to come, but it definitely did come. And I almost have to ask you a side point here before we get to closing thoughts here. I mean, how much pain were you in after the match? Because you must have been a few days worth of pain, no?
Definitely a couple of days of resting and some icing. It was rough. Like I said, I was beaten, exhausted, and I think it was too. That barbed wire chair. I got a couple.
That's why I asked, because there was some stuff in that match that, Forsaken was pretty much, he had some, moxie and bravado throughout the match, and then you kind of found a way to hang in there and then you won the title, and it was almost kind of reminds me of the Metallica song off Death Magnetic, broken, beaten, and scarred. You were pretty much all of that and some. So, I mean, you found a way, and that's what it's all about. And I have a few more comments before I get to closing thoughts, and Nicholas Prenson, who's here as well. And Soldier, don't be jelly. We got that already. Summer Bash, oh my God, LOL. And then Omen says, we got your application. Well, Coach is going to be here in a little while. So I think Coach will be here in about 20 or 25 minutes. And now I'm sure Coach will address this. Dream matches are made. Absolutely Summer Bash. Maybe we'll see you with that title. Zero, you had one match that was garbage. The Midwest Four are taking a good look at. Yes, I think the Midwest Four are definitely going to be the future. I like it, Coach. We always love Coach on Sportswire. Going to see him in a little while, but we have more to review before we make a decision. All right, so you're a busy man. You got autograph signings. You got obviously press to do. You got more shows to be, figuring out to interview. You got to obviously study more tape on who you're going to wrestle next. And you got obviously find ways to tailor your next suit, all that great stuff. You're a busy man, I know. But I want to give you the opportunity for some closing thoughts. Anything else you want to share, say, plug? And I'm very honored to have been the first interview with you, my friend Champion. And the floor is yours, my good friend.
Thank you, Tom. I'm very, very happy that you were the first to interview the new and improved world champ. So
you definitely look new and improved. You look like I'm ready to get your autograph right now, champ.
As you said, very, very busy. Do got a lot coming in. Do need to review a lot of opponents' matches. I definitely need to be caught up. But as everything starts to slow down a bit, I'll make sure I tune in and check everything out. But give Coach my good word. Really, all my final thoughts. Thank you for having me.
All right, well, I have one more last side point, and please follow Dark Cryptic Wrestling on YouTube at Dark Cryptic Wrestling. What's your favorite figure up on the wall?
My favorite. I'm not gonna lie. Probably gonna be Darby Allin.
That's a good one. What? I would not have thought about that, but that is a good one. That is a nice pick. That is actually somebody that I think that your style very similar to. That was a good one. That was a nice catch there. I'm going to be very excited to see when you have the Rob Van Dam AEW figure in a few weeks. I'm sure that's going to be next up on the wall there.
It might be hard to get my hands on, but I will have it.
You're the champion. You're the world champion. You'll find a way. Listen, you're a world champion now. So I'm sure your people will call their people in AEW and you'll get that figure. But obviously, congratulations on winning the Dark Cryptic Wrestling World Heavyweight title. A rising tide will always lift all boats, and the sky is the limit. And I have no doubt that you are going to be both in the backyard wrestling scene. Keep up the great work. I look forward to watching you more often, and anytime you want to come on Sportswire and talk about the company and that title, you are always welcomed, my friend, and thank you for coming on here tonight.
Thank you, Tom.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was our reigning defending Dark Cryptic Wrestling World Heavyweight Champion, his first word since he won the title. That is Mr. Joe Stone. And now we are joined, speaking of where I think the fireworks are going to be coming out here, and you have a lot, I know, to contest with tonight.
Yes.
A lot going on here. But we have the reigning, defending RCW. That's right, World Underground Champion, who they call the new Messiah, Nicholas Crenson. And Mr. Crenson wearing a Grease shirt nonetheless. And how are you tonight, my friend? And you certainly, I'm sure, are going to have a lot to contest with. But what is on your mind as we are now just a short week from now between you and Mr. Jovi heading out of state to Iowa?
Oh, there is a lot on my mind, Tom. A lot. And yeah, God, my shoulder's just feeling a little off today.
So maybe carrying that championship around. Maybe that's what.
Yeah, this apparently, dead championship. Well, here's the thing: if it's dead, well, then call me a necromancer because I'm raising this bitch back up.
Necromancer, interesting line there. I think that was a Rush song, I think, in Caressive Steel, but that's a different point. But obviously, a bunch of comments, but they're going to change over to you. I mean, obviously, we saw the video that Soldier just put out on IMF Wrestling TV, basically kind of saying what a lot of people, I think, in the backyard wrestling world have been saying here the last week, and we saw it even on IMF TV, where WCE seems like that they're kind of cowering almost to the IMF. And you guys, in a way, tried to put a response toward that and give us your impressions on Mr. Jovi's video. You were obviously a part of that for sure. And floor is yours.
Oh man, to be honest with you, when I was in the background kind of watching Jovi do it, and as soon as he started doing the fake crying, I had to hold my laughter in because I was about dying on the floor. I thought it was hilarious. Hell, as much guff and trash talk between me, Jovi, and Omen and Soldier, I will give Omen this. I have never laughed so hard in my life when I watched that promo.
Did you feel almost that video you guys put out, leave aside what Soldier had to say, because Soldier basically said that Jovi had to copy him in order to actually respond, but did you feel that you guys heard the echo chambers and you heard it loud and clear, and this was almost kind of like the put up or shut up moment right now to kind of defend WC, because it has been a very tough week for WC. I mean, Dash Andrews obviously came up short on IMF TV to take the tag titles. We had another guy named Black that at once upon a time wrestled in WC that should probably never come back to the state of Iowa, should never come back to WC. I mean, it's been a very tough week for WC. Skulls had bad internet connection. Announced on air he had a Skulls action figure. I love Skulls. But obviously, Marshall and Jovi, I mean, Marshall was mocked on James Taylor's show, the Nemesis Sessions, basically saying, like, this guy couldn't talk and he's a champion. I mean, it's been a really tough week for WC, but do you feel that the video that was put out on your guys' page at WC Heat on YouTube maybe put the fire out a little bit?
It possibly did, but you mentioned that it's pretty much coming down to the wire to put up or shut up time. So,
yep.
As much as we can talk and we can shoot back and forth, we can call each other names, we can call each other out. The only thing that will matter is when we get inside the ring together.
And I think that's the point I guess you might want to say if you're a WC fan, is that IMF has been traveling everywhere, right? We've seen IMF and ROEW TV, DKW TV. I mean, IMF is everywhere. But WCE, I mean, we don't know what you guys could do outside of WC. Maybe is there a point you could say from the WC standpoint, like if you're a JR Wind, who's a WC person through and through, and some of the other WC devoted fans, that, you know what, IMF, maybe they're wearing themselves too thin. Maybe IMF doesn't know what they're getting into with WC. Is that a point maybe to be made?
Kinda, but also, to be fair, I'm going to be fair in this. We also don't know what we're getting into. And, for some people, that would be a scary prospect to think of, going into the unknown, but I welcome it. It is just fabulous to think of. This is going to be a start. Actually, no, not the start, because I'll give it to IMF and DKW. They started this new era of backyard wrestling.
Absolutely, no question about that.
And I do want to kind of jump back on something that Jovi said earlier, saying IMF is mid. I'll say this. If IMF was mid, we wouldn't be bothering going down there. Every single one of them are talented. Every single member of the IMF roster are talented in one way or other. Some more than others, but they have talent. And, I just saw Soldier just commented there just a moment ago.
Yes, about 0 days, yes.
Yeah. Hey, Soldier, I'm going to give you a round of applause because you're the coolest person to ever use the name Soldier. But I'm also going to say don't take it too kindly because that bar is extremely low.
So I guess you're saying then, okay, and I guess so you're not that impressed then with the Soldier wanting a match with Zero Deus then.
Oh no, I'm impressed with Soldier. Like he is able to fight like no other. Same with Omen. They can fight. And the best part about it is they can talk trash, which I love.
Yes, they can, and that's
love the fact that they can shoot all the shots right at me, because it means I'm going for a fight.
So are you trying to tell us here, and I don't know if I'm trying to parcel this, Mr. Crenson, and I've known you a while. I've known you longer than Soldier and Omen, although I've gotten to know them just as well, but I've known you for a year. So it's been a long year I've been covering WC, maybe even a little longer than that now, actually. But are you saying in a way that maybe there's a possibility that IMF is walking right into the trap that you've laid upon? Is that what you're saying to us right now?
Never reveal all your cards, Tom.
Hmm.
Do I think I have a trap? Do I have a trap for IMF? I really have a plan. What I do have, though, is the RCW World Underground Championship, which I wanted to raise the prestige of it higher than it's ever been. Yeah, you can say it's from a dead promotion, but now it's part of WCE, and now I got to raise this prestige even more. So, one thing I would like to say that Soldier GP and Owen Black, maybe they are falling into a trap that I have, or maybe me and Jovi are walking into their trap. Who knows?
Well, you guys want them in a tag match now. I mean, obviously, that was the other thing that was shown in the promo. You guys cut again WC Heat on YouTube. You can watch it and find out firsthand what Sean Jovi, the resident rock star and the new Messiah, of course, our reigning defending RCW World Underground Champion, Nicholas Crenson, had said. But I mean, Soldier and Omen have been on other promotions' TV when they wrestle as a tag team. I mean, are you sure that was something you wanted?
Yes.
You do.
Why not? Well, why take the easy route and just do one match when I can do two?
Because the point could be made, you saw what happened to Dash Andrews and the other guy that wrestled with him. Maybe that's the point to be made.
And that's
true.
That's Dash Andrews. That's whatever
that other guy, yeah. To be named anonymous.
Yeah, like they're not they're not two of the four cornerstones of WCE.
That's true. Okay, all right, but you do know though that you're in their home turf. It would be one thing if you were obviously in Appleton and they were coming to WCE, but you're going to Iowa. You're going to a place that's unfamiliar territory in WC. You guys have always had that home yard advantage, if you want to call it. But you're going into foreign territory. And they even said, Soldier even said that people from Wisconsin have left the state. He talked about Brett Favre. He talked about Aaron Rodgers. He brought up even Topher Grace from that 70s show. I mean, he basically said that people from Wisconsin, they wound up leaving and they wind up not wanting to be there. I mean, that had to be personal a little bit.
You know what? I'll give him this, and he's kind of got a point. Nobody comes to Wisconsin by choice. And if they do,
I guess
there's seriously issues.
Maybe Robin Yount, with the exception of Robin Yount, maybe. I mean,
but to the point you made it before, that this is going to be, we're obviously stepping into hostile territory. We're stepping into their home field turf. But this is wrestling. This is backyard wrestling. There's no such thing as a home field advantage.
Oh, but see, now I would somewhat agree, but it does, and it can play into considerations because IMF is battle tested. They've got a devoted fan base, and they've also got people from their company that are going to be there. I mean, you guys are only walking in with just you guys. And on top of that, you got to defend this RCW championship next weekend in IMF territory.
Yeah. Huh. And I have to defend it against Jason Myers.
Yes, you do.
former
And
U.S.
you guys have gone back and forth throughout these past several weeks.
former tag team champion, but I don't think I've heard the word world champion in his name.
No, sir. No, you have not.
So, while I have a lot to prove as a defending champion, Jason, well, he has to prove that he can finally have a world title. And yeah, I know what Omen said there. Once he wins it, he's going to throw this in the trash. Good luck. I plan on walking out of Iowa with this belt. I plan on walking out of Iowa with more than my money's worth after both matches.
Well, let me ask you one question before I do something here. And I don't know what Mr. Jovi thinks about this. I'm sure Mr. Jovi is watching this. But if Mr. Jovi, let's say, brings back the IMF championship, I mean, what do you think he does with that title?
If he brings it back, he defends it. Jovi is the type that once he has a championship, he wants to defend it everywhere that he can.
Okay. All right. Well, you know what? If I were to do something here, I'm sure you're going to know what's coming. So I'm going to do it anyway because you just saw that. Okay. I don't even have to say anything at this point. They are
Tom, can you
here.
make us more boxes, not these?
Oh, yes. Yeah. Sorry. It's the stream itself. Is it better now for you? Can you see each other now?
There we go.
Well,
You know what, Crenton? I'm just going to say this. I'm going to be flat out honest. You picked an easy fight.
ooh.
You ducked me. And you know for a fact you ducked me.
Hey, you said one thing that I disagree with. You said that you plan on walking out of Iowa. With that title, you plan on walking out of Iowa. Bro, you're not walking out of Iowa. We're going to break you. And we're going to ship you back to Wisconsin. You're not walking anywhere.
You know what? I just feel bad for his mom because every day she's having to wheel his ass around, especially the WCE's ring, to vacate that title because he can't compete anymore.
Crimson, you're not coming for a wrestling match when you come at us. You're coming for a fight that you're not going to win.
Now where's Zero? He was talking all this crap.
I got something to say about Zero. When we come up there in September, WCE, I want a match with Zero on top of the match that I'm trying to get with your resident idiot, Sean Jovi.
Oh no, well you have to get through Dirty Deadskin to get to Zero, which will be a piece of cake.
Who the hell is Dirty Deadskin?
Exactly.
I want Zero. He runs his mouth and I'm going to shut it up.
Oof.
He's had one match, and the best spot in that match is when he got laid out and a box of tricks landed on him. The best part of the match. Besides the bell ringing and it was all over.
And again, Crimson, get your facts straight. Omen never said he was going to drop that title in the trash. I did.
Well, before I come back to some of these comments here, I do want to say something from Dark Cryptic Wrestling. While I plan on making a trip to Wisconsin sometime in September, Mr. Crenson, maybe Kron will take that title off your hands. I mean, what would you say toward that, Mr. Crenson? Should you remain the RCW World Underground Champion, would you want, let's say, our friends from DKW and Mr. Darkron to, obviously take that title from you? What's your thoughts on that?
They're welcome to try, just like when next weekend Jason Myers is welcome to try to take this from me. You're welcome to try to make me leave in a wheelchair, but that's not going to be an easy task.
Right, that's me. That's like me picking Tyler Ark.
You really, say this is an easy fight. That's your boys. That's your boy. That's Jason Myers. He's one of your boys.
Who called you out first? Out of anyone? You're looking at him.
And don't worry, you're gonna get your fight with me.
I don't think you want that.
Where's your partner? Where's your buddy at?
Where's the statue at? Wait, hold on. Where's the statue of WCE James Marshall?
As I was telling you, Mr. Crenson, if you were listening to James Taylor's show yesterday, he was a lightning rod James Marshall. He was a pinata. I mean, you could not – I would not have wanted to have been James – I would rather have been Skulls than James Marshall yesterday on that show. Because it was basically James Marshall this, James Marshall that, and the common theme was James Marshall can't say anything more than a smile and maybe hi and bye.
You know, you said this last time that you were on the Sportswire, Crenson, that – Soldier and I and IMF come into Sportswire and we talk a bunch of shit. No, we just put our nuts on the table wherever we go and let our presence be known. WC will be no different.
Everywhere we go, we take over. Everywhere we go, we take over. What makes you think you're going to be any different?
That was actually be my next question. I mean, what does that make you feel?
What makes me think that this will be any different? I have heard these type of bold claims. Listen, I'm hearing them now with you guys. I've heard them in the past, back in the 04. I've heard them everywhere.
You're hearing it from nobody.
Words are meaningless once we step into the ring. So we can go back and forth all we want, but until me and Jovi get in the ring with you and Omen, this is all just coffee house bullshit.
No, we're just spitting facts. You're just spitting fairy tales.
Let me ask you a question as we're here on Sportswire Radio with the foundation from the IMF that is Omen Black and Soldier GP. You can follow the IMF on YouTube at IMF Wrestling 666 and also Nicholas Crenson, the new messiah from Wrestling Championship Entertainment, who you can follow on YouTube at WC Heat, Facebook at WC Heat, and WCHeat.com. And Nicholas Crenson, let me ask you this question. Is this next month coming for WC? We've got obviously Rise to the Occasion. Next week, you guys are in Iowa. And then in September, the IMF guys are coming down to Wisconsin. Is this the biggest month in the history of WC?
Yes. Yes, it is. And, it's as much as like we're just trading back and forth barbs and, they can say they're spitting straight facts, and maybe they are. But this is a big thing for WC. This is a big thing for backyard wrestling.
You're welcome.
And as odd as this might be, I will say thank you, Omen. Thank you, Soldier GP, because without this war, the backyard wrestling scene would be stagnant. It would be just dull. This makes things interesting. I like this.
And DKW, by the way, is coming in September. I mean, that's news that I just literally knew about today. I didn't even think I knew about this when we went on the air. So this is breaking news almost. DKW is coming down also in September. I mean, at this
point,
point,
you're not only getting the foundation in September, you're getting the Midwest 4. Hands down, the best team of backyard wrestlers ever been produced. Who's going to stop us?
Maybe this is the greatest moment in backyard wrestling. I'll even dare say it, because we're going to see 3 promotions now in one ring, 1 yard. I mean, it's almost like
this is a preview of Summer Bash.
I was going to say, Omen, this is almost like Fall Bash almost, right? I mean, based on the calendar, it's kind of like Fall Bash.
Because now you can beat down Jovi, right?
Hopefully, Jovi stops ducking me and actually goes one-on-one with me. I want a match with Zero as well.
Well, it's funny you said that about Zero, by the way, because now, Soldier, I know that you had asked about Zero coming on. And would you like me to bring him on?
Yeah, bring him in.
Yeah, he had to put his makeup on, right? Come on.
Well, we're going to find out, right?
Yeah.
Here he is, Zero Dennis of WCE and Vector. Zero, long time no speak. What would you like to say to the IMF guys?
Oh, I think Crenson and Jovi are the prime candidates to send over to Iowa. They're not our best, but do we really need our best?
You're wearing a choker. You have the nerve to say that to me?
You're stuck in the 90s, kid.
90s? What year are you from?
What are you? I just got one question for you. When we come up in there in September, are you going to fight me or not?
Oh, yeah. I make it a point
Do you
to
accept my
be.
challenge or not?
Hold on. Jay Steer left a mess right under your lip. Might want to clean that up.
Yeah. I've been puking up this black stuff lately. I don't know. I've been to a couple doctors, but it's been an ongoing issue. I got some on my shirt a little bit. Yeah. You come over to Wisconsin, I will get in the ring with you. Yeah. Shower, please.
What would
Coming
make
from
you
you,
different?
a shower, hearing the word shower means nothing from
Zero,
you.
it's been a while, and I have
You
to
look
ask
like
this
the room
question.
stinks.
I have to ask this question to you, Zero. And it's obviously been a while since you've been on Sportswire Radio. Welcome back. But what would make you different in the ring against Soldier, unlike, let's say, Dash Andrews and the other guy who shall name nameless? What would make you different for those out there?
I mean, Dash Andrews, if he were to go on a diet, he'd be about in my weight class. But the dude's like 5'1". I know over at IMF they basically have two weight classes, and that's super heavyweight and children. So I'm sure Dash Andrews fit right in the children weight class, but I'm somewhere in between that.
Okay.
Where's this heat? Where's this heat that you said you were going to talk?
Heat, brother. I've been dishing out nothing but heat. You look uncomfortable, Mr. Arms Crossed.
You look like a crackhead salamander.
Yeah, that's what I'm going for.
Well, I'd like to say hello to somebody from England in the meantime who's here with us, who just made his debut a few weeks ago in GT Ministries. Daniel Banner says, hello, gents. Hello again, Tom. Jester versus Zero. What you say, boys? Light work. I guess.
Don't do that to Jester. It's going to waste his time.
The Midwest Four have shed blood together. We have a bond that no other group can match. But I guess I'm going to make this more interesting, fellas, because he is here. He has something to say, and he is our coach of Sportswire Radio, and he obviously has a vested interest in what goes down here. That is Mr. Chris Craven. And Coach, how you doing tonight? I know you've been a busy man these days. I saw you on James Taylor's show, and that got interesting. Let's hope it doesn't get to that degree with some of the guests that shall name nameless on Sportswire. But Coach, how you doing? And what do you make of this new WC IMF show? It looks like maybe Crenson and Zero are showing a little bit of moxie, or is it maybe too little too late, you think?
I'm just going to ask, what Grim Reaper jizzed on dude's face?
I don't got an answer for that. I mean, I could say skulls. That'd be funny, right? But I've just been spitting this stuff out.
Well, I would hope you'd have a little bit more abilities than skulls. And I love skulls, by the way. Love skulls. But, I mean, let's hope you got a little bit more in the tank.
I mean, you saw me in the ring. You saw me. I can move.
Yes. Listen, well, Skulls and the other guy named Black.
The only thing you're moving is a fucking Twix box. That's the only thing. That's the only thing I remember from that match.
Oh, the tricks. The tricks.
And then what Bay Stereo did in the match. Obviously, everyone was talking about that for a while. But, I mean, Coach, talk to us. I mean, what do you make of this right now? Obviously, it's been another lively show tonight. I think, obviously, WC's come in here, maybe a little bit more moxie. But Soldier and Omen certainly have every reason to be confident right now. They are all over the place. They have been dominant. They have been running roughshod around backyard wrestling. They've got the numbers. They've got the following. And they've got the home fans to back things up next weekend. But let's say you about what we go here between WC and IMF as the war starts next weekend.
Well, you know me. I'm going to go with IMF.
Okay, and tell us why.
I mean, come look at them. You know, you don't want to disagree them. They may eat you.
Well, I'm going to plead the fifth on that respectfully because we are.
No.
And it's Omen Show, by the way. It is Omen Show.
I sent my application in. They said they got it.
Did you need any references, by the way? Did you need any job references?
I got a couple already.
Do you think Havoc can maybe
He didn't need them, though.
He didn't need them? Okay, fair enough. I appreciate that. So, I mean, Mr. Crenson, obviously you've heard from Zero. You've coached him, it seems like, somewhat well here in Vector. And, I mean, what do you make of this? And, I mean, seeing Zero and Soldier, I mean, do you give Zero advice here? If this happens, do you think this is something that management will want to see? Because obviously you're going to have a lot on your plate right now next weekend for sure. But give us your impressions here.
Zero is always a wild card anytime he does anything, and honestly entertaining for me. So if he wants to face Soldier GP in September, I say go for it. You're probably as much as I like you and I can give you all the pep talk and all the training you want, but I have to say this, Zero, you're probably gonna get your ass handed to you. But I know you'll fight.
Let me ask you a question, Soldier, and I don't know why I'm going to ask this question, but I'll try to ask it to you in the best way I could, and maybe you'll give me an answer, which I'm sure it'll be a rather entertaining one. But is there kind of maybe an unpredictability factor going into a match if management grants this wish here between yourself and Zero, where you're going up against a guy that I guess he doesn't care if you break him like a twig. He doesn't care if you throw him around the ring. He may not even care if he never wrestles another match after this. But is there an unpredictability factor going up against somebody that nobody really knows much about and is almost kind of like, how can I put this in a respectful way? He's almost like a suicide bomber. Like he almost wants to die on behalf of WC in that ring. I mean, what do you say to that unpredictability factor?
Listen, I will give him props. He's got bigger. I'll give him props that he's got bigger balls than Sean Jovi. But at the end of the day, I'm gonna Ivan Drago you. You're gonna be my Apollo Creed.
Ivan Drago.
You're gonna be my Apollo Creed.
I think I'm Rocky in that scenario, buddy.
Oh.
I actually just watched Rocky. What was that? 3, 4? Just the other day. It wasn't very good.
Well, Rocky 5 was the one that wasn't good. That was the one that wasn't good.
Hey, everything after Rocky 1 was unnecessary.
We can debate that another time here.
You see, you guys remember when Brock Lesnar fought John Cena and it was like 16, suplexes and it was done?
Yep.
I'm only going to need 3.
Only 3? Interesting here. I've got some comments, so let's get to them. DKW says, Coach, I'm going to come back to Coach in a second. Peter Richards, about time Craven shows up to school. This Zero freak. TBK, I say hello to TBK. There's my homie Craven, and of course my dudes in the foundation. Now it's a show. I'll come back to the WC IMF thing in a second, but Coach, I'm sure you heard the words from our new DKW champion, Mr. Joe Stone, and Joe referenced you. And for those that are listening and watching, what was your impressions of Joe Stone? And don't tell us exactly what you said to the new champion, but what was maybe kind of you felt in terms of some of the things he used maybe to help him get that championship?
Isn't this Combat Joe? Isn't that who this is?
He's now Joe Stone. He changed his name. Now he's the champion. He's got a suit on. I'm sure.
Got an identity crisis. Okay. I look at it like this. To be honest, I wasn't listening to what he said earlier. I was watching TV.
Okay. Maybe you were more entertained by SmackDown than.
I think one of the female matches were going on at the time, or one of them mid-card matches that had more talent than him. So I really didn't give a shit. But I'm not really worried about it.
Kid, but he gave you a lot of props.
Oh, he gave me a lot of props. Oh, I'm sorry.
He gave you a lot of props. His change to Joe Stone was because of you.
All right, well, that's cool. He took some advice. Good. He betters him, and that's awesome. He looked like he got himself cleaned up. He got himself a real outfit. I know he still looked like he's sitting in his mom's bedroom, or at his mom's house, but he cleaned it up. He changed it up, so that's good. That's awesome. Good for you, Joe. Good for you.
Okay, all right, fair enough. There, I guess I'll move on from that. Hope the pizza's good there, Coach. But Nicholas Crenson, obviously coming back to you.
I'm
going to plead the fifth on all that here. I'm going to come back to Nicholas Crenson, though. And obviously, Nicholas, Zero here. And you're going to go. What was that? What was that, Coach?
I got some pizza sauce if he wants to bleed again.
I'm never gonna live
They
that down.
already did that.
Oh, you did? Okay, so I mean, obviously, I could ask about the blade job or the ketchup job, whatever it might be. I still like the white packet over the red packet. But Mr. Crenson, I mean, if you were to have any final words for your opponents coming up next weekend, I mean, what would they be now that we're here live on Sportswire?
Oh, Tom, thank you so much. I've been waiting to get a chance to say this. Let's make things
Don't hurt
even more
yourself.
interesting.
What do you mean?
Okay, so me and Jason Myers, last man standing. And then me and Jovi versus the Foundation. Anything goes.
Ha!
What?
Hold on. You mean I can grab a chair and beat
Sounds
you?
like-
What? Ladies and gentlemen, it looks like
Anything
I am
goes.
stunned.
It's the
It's
resident
the
Dusty
resident
Dog.
Anything
Phil
goes?
Jovi. This
I can't
cannot
hear
be
any of
happening.
the other
This
jabronis
cannot
on
be
here, but did you
happening.
say anything goes?
Yeah, I said anything goes.
Oh, it's the moment we've all been waiting for.
Whoa!
Taylor
They
Soldier
do know,
Graham
like,
Prick and Omen
I dabble in thumbtacks,
Black. I hate that last
Nintendo
name.
sticks,
Find
barbed
a better
wire.
one.
You guys do know I
Besides
dabble in
Crickets, say hi.
thumbtacks, kendo sticks, barbed wire. You guys know that, right?
Can't
You know
hear
I'm
you.
you know I'm a
Man,
wizard with
headphone
the
in,
internet.
dude.
That's a good comeback, Joe. Joe, you do realize I'm a master with the chair, and he's got thumbtacks on lock.
Wait a second. Let's make this tag match even more interesting. Anything goes, but the only way to win is that you have to make your opponents give up. You have to make somebody throw in the towel or tap out.
Whoa!
I
It was
like
already been an easy day. You made it 10 times easier. Dude, all I have to say is one word. Stupid. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to hurt you. We're going to hurt you bad. I don't know why you're shaking your head. The summer of Jovi is coming to an end on the 12th. I don't see you showing up, Zero.
Because you know why I'm shaking my head? Who starts a promo with, "I'm gonna hurt you"? What is that? Obviously, he about to get in the
I
ring
heard
and
you say one
fight.
promo.
Somebody's gonna get
I
hurt.
would hope someone gets hurt.
Are you
I'm
guys
gonna
That's
hurt
one
you.
promo. I hope your body can take the beating that the shit that's coming out of your mouth is going to cause you. I really do.
Yeah.
I hope your body can take a beating
It can.
because you're letting your pit bull mouth overrun that puppy dog ass.
Yeah.
It looks like he's used the guys coming up behind him by surprise.
No, you respond like James Marshall. Yeah, I will see. I guess.
I mean,
Fuck you.
it's hard to reply to such shallow threats.
No, it's hard to reply because you don't know what to say. Because WC is garbage. You're garbage.
It's hard to respond to you and even take you seriously with that.
Hey,
on your face, but
hey,
all right.
at least we don't have a bunch of children in our Fed, right?
And he's okay. You got you, Dirty Deadskin, and Tyler Ark. But these kids, Jason Myers, these kids, Jordan Nash.
Hey, Joey, why are you hiding behind that man? It's not slippery when Howard.
They can run.
Well, I mean, I would, but I'm kind of trapped with a headphone, pal.
Well, the fireworks are going off here right now. I got a ton of comments. I'll come back to the comments here first, but I want to go back one more time.
I want to give a invitation. Zero, you come on the 12th.
Nope, lost my hair, bud.
I'll face you.
Yeah, I don't. You'll face me. You're already coming to WCE. So why do I want to come to your yard? I know it's the most legendary backyard feud of all time. You come to my yard. No, you come to my yard. No, you're coming to my yard anyway. So I will see you in, I don't know, what is it, September? Make sure.
I'm gonna tell you this. This is why you don't get any big matches besides Jay Stereo.
No. I've had issues. Linda wanted me to take a step back for a minute, so I have.
Is that your blow-up doll?
Take a step back from that camera, man.
Oh yeah, you'll meet Linda very soon. You'll meet her. But oh man, sir, when you come here,
Sounds very
make
feminine
sure
when you say that.
make sure you wash your crevices and folds. All right.
Well, I don't
I
know
don't
if we
want to.
want to know about that on
And make
Sports
sure
Wire. You
it
guys
looks
can
like
go
Shaggy
wrestle, but I don't
2-Dope
know
from
if we
Juggalo.
want to know enough about that stuff. There's certainly.
Hey! I thought the rule was no cussing. I'm not cussing.
True, but I mean, we're talking about people's.
You know what?
lives.
That
I mean,
face paint is a curse word.
So you're too big of a pussy to take the invitation on this well. I get it.
No, I'm too lazy to drive the however many hours to get there. When you're
Hey, guess
already
what?
going to
You don't have to
drive
drive.
here.
These two jokes are driving.
Yeah, I ain't driving with them. All right.
Oh,
all right, let me come back.
That's your leader right there.
I'll come
That's
back
your
to
leader
all
right
you
there.
gentlemen. I'm gonna come
Sean
back-
Jovi is not my leader.
Hey, dumbass.
I'm going to come back to you, gentlemen. I do have some comments. Let me get to them here before I ask Mr. Crenson a question going about this new stipulations added here. Dirty Donnie would like to say, wow, this guy. DKW, have you seen the matches that we've had in the foundation? I feel sorry for Jovi and Crenson. I say hello to Joe Stone, who was on a little while ago, our reigning defending DKW Hardcore Champion. Dirty Donnie says, our children are better than you, to be honest, in WCE. Drake Silver Wolf, hello to you. Another person that I don't think we'd want to see in a ring right now against the IMF. There's 3 of them. Add Craven Rage. The Midwest 4 will take you on. Should I bring that name up again? Craven Rage? That a name ring a bell to anybody here? Craven Rage?
I'm the real
the
Craven.
guy
I
who
don't know
ducked
about
me
it.
before the Princeton ducked me. Yeah, you know what's funny about Craven Rage is Craven Rage is your guys' world champ. So that person should be on the forefront of this war, right? Where has he been?
I'm sure he's got better things to do than to go wrestle children in Iowa. As do I.
You had one match. Oh wait, didn't you just get done with legal troubles?
I had legal troubles?
That's what I hear.
From
You haven't
whom?
been in WCE.
Yeah, you over there looking like the hamburger, you dumb bitch.
And the rumor is legal troubles? I mean, that's not the truth, but we'll fly with that. Because that's much more exciting.
I want to be Joker.
It's the Foundation versus the Basement Badass Nikki Crenson and the blank Joker. Appreciate that. Zero doesn't drive. He rides in the trunk. Zero has zero dedication. So zero, I get the joke. Zero has zero dedication. Appreciate that here. But as we have a little while longer here with
I'll
everybody,
walk you any day.
Mr. Crenson, I have to ask you this question because I want to come back to these stipulations for a second here. And he obviously announced here live on Sportswire Radio that you're going to be in a last man standing match for your RCW World Underground title. And then right after that, you're going to go up against Omen and Soldier in almost an anything goes match. I mean, why not just one stipulation for one match? Why 2 stipulations for 2 different matches? Why?
Why, Tom?
Yes, sir.
Pretty much simple. I'm a bit of a masochist, bit of a sadist, and well, I feel like we need some good old fashioned violence to solve things.
3 cigarettes and some moonshine. I bet you it's
Coach, is that the right play by Nicholas Crenson? Is it the right play for him to go on offense instead and go with 2 stipulations, 2 different matches, especially if you're a champion defending your title, where Soldiers basically said if IMF takes the RCW title, they're basically disposing of it, similar to the way Medusa did on Monday Night Nitro.
You say it all wrong. You're just going to throw it in the fucking garbage.
Well, Medusa threw the title out when she had the
I understand
WWF
that.
title.
Just say it like it
I've
is.
seen
Don't
these
sugarcoat
IMF
it.
guys work. Crenson, you really, Pee-wee, you really need to stay in your playhouse. That's it. I think Pee-wee needs to stay in his playhouse.
Well, I
Stay
guess
in your playhouse. Stay with your kitty things. Don't
Princeton,
touch
are you
blood.
sure you want to do this? The whole anything goes?
Yes. Why not?
He may put one of them flabs or those rolls on your face and suffocate you, and then you quit, and it's over.
But could you make a point, Coach, that maybe that an unpredictability factor, maybe, you know what, backs against the wall. You see this all the time in sports. Sometimes you even see it in wrestling where you have people who've come in here, and WC, no question about it, is going into an environment that it's not their home. It's not their home yard. It's not familiar territory for them. But if they put these stipulations out there, maybe it gives them, something to fight for, something to strive for. And maybe, that could actually be something that works to their advantage. What do you think about that?
I mean, yeah, I mean, anybody can get more dangerous when their back's against the wall, sure. But in the same thing, in the same, gesture, you got to look at it like this. It's like you put your back against the wall, you can gamble all your cards, you can gamble all your chips. But if you lose, it's all on you. Like at some point, you don't want to tip your hand. You sure as hell don't want to show all your pot. You don't want to put the whole pot on the center of the table and put it all. You don't want to bet it all. Like leave a little room just in case, because the unpredictable factor. Yeah, you never know.
Who has more, in your opinion? Who has more to lose next weekend? WCE or the IMF?
WCE. They're on IMF's on their home turf. WCE's not. So, and WCE has been dominant on their home turf. So them coming out of their comfort zone, out of their bubble, they have to not only hold on. Not only do they have to show up and show out, but they have to make sure that they make a statement, and that they can make a statement outside of their own, home field. Can they do it? I don't know. I don't think they could.
Let me ask you one more follow-up to that, because you said something interesting and you read my mind here. And if you're on YouTube out there, continue to give us a like and follow at Sportswire Radio. Also 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. You can listen to all of our great content on sportnarium.com/player. And also I'm on Instagram at the Sports Report 2021. My name is the Reverend Tom Bryce. I'm here with Coach Chris Craven, Zero Deus, Nicholas Crenson of WCE, and from the IMF, Omen Black and Soldier GP. You read my mind, Coach, in the fact that WCE is going to unfamiliar territory, and you've been in this spot before. You've been a pro, you've been a yarder, you've done it all. That's why you call us our coach. Do you think, even though Nicholas Crenson and Jovi are veterans, that there could be nerves this week? I mean, there has to be some nerves here, especially on a long commute to Iowa. You haven't gone into this territory. They've got a lot of momentum. IMF is hot right now. Do you think that there's nerves here? And if there's nerves from Jovi and Crenson, how do they deal with these nerves and fight it to give their best abilities here and give WC a good showing next week?
I mean, yeah. I mean, there could be nerves. There could be, you never, like you said, the unpredictability factor. It's kind of like if you're on a street full of houses and every house has a dog in the backyard. You never know what kind of dog you're going to walk in and, you're going to get bit, or is it going to be friendly? Is it going to be okay? You're going to make it out, or are you going to tear it apart? You never know what's going to happen when you walk through that gate and go into somebody's territory that isn't your own. But it's the same as, you go swimming in the ocean. You never know if there's a shark in there to get you. And I think if there aren't any nerves, there should be. And I think if they're not worried, they definitely should reconsider their thought process, because anytime you go into somebody else's backyard, anytime you go into somebody else's territory, it then, like I said, it becomes all on you.
Especially now that you want to make it anything goes.
Like I said, it's all on you. You guys go over there, WCE, Craven Rage, Crenson, any of them, you guys go over there, another Fed. For one, I'm going to break the fourth wall here, and I'm going to break kayfabe, and I'm going to say it because nobody else wants to say it. Okay? You ain't got your favoritism with booking. Somebody else is running the show. That's one thing. Another thing is you out of your comfort zone entirely. You are out of your comfort zone entirely. You are at the mercy of everyone in an IMF locker room. Think of it like WWF and WCW back during the invasion. You are the outsiders. You are the ones that nobody wants in the locker room, and they're going to treat you as such. You're going to be going in with your guard up 24/7, and you're going to have to watch each other's back round the clock. You're going across enemy lines, and you think it's going to be civil and simple and easy. No.
Crenson, I see you shaking your head.
No, I
Tell me
don't.
why you
Coach. I don't expect it to be civil or simple or easy. Hell, I don't want it to be easy. That easy's boring.
Are we going to see? This is
Just
what I
bring your
want to
ketchup
ask.
package. You'll be good.
I want to ask this question for the WCE guys. And maybe it'll be the same when Soldier and Omen and the IMF camp, and maybe even the DKW camp, walks in to Appleton in September. I'm picturing right now Nicholas Crenson, and maybe you have a thought or two on this. You're going to be in some real hostile territory. And I'm almost predicting, in a way, it's going to be the same thing as when Shawn Michaels walked into Montreal, Survivor Series 1997. That environment, that IMF fan base, that IMF audience. I mean, it's going to be really uncomfortable in Iowa.
But there isn't going to be no Montreal screw job.
That's true too. That's true too. But my point was that, it's different when you're at home. I'm sure it's good, Coach. But my point is Nicholas Crenson. I mean, if it was me, I would be thinking all of a sudden I'm in a completely hostile environment to the point that you guys might be greeted when you get into the state. Not even into Cedar Rapids itself, but the state itself. There's going to be the boo birds. There's going to be the jitters. There's going to be the people that say, oh, it's WC. Boo, WC. They're going to go on and on and on. And it's going to make this a very, very tense, and it's personal. Because it's different, DKW and IMF feud, it's one thing. But it's really gotten to me to the point where you guys literally don't like each other. It is becoming like a war right now, a real and true war. What do you say to that, Nicholas Crenson?
I welcome it. I welcome the idea of going into hostile territory. And, Coach, you're right. If we don't have nerves, we're probably stupid. So, yes, I have nerves going into Iowa, going into a match where basically I am giving both Soldier and Omen a clear-cut advantage over us. I know that. But also, I'm going into another match where I have 0 losses in.
So interesting. I hadn't thought of it that way. So you're telling us that you're confident and that you have reason to be confident. Very interesting here. All right, so you know what? Interesting points. DKW would like to say, hey, our hardcore champion Kron is coming to Wisconsin. Who in WC thinks they could hang? Anybody, Zero or Crenson, you want to answer that question for us?
I'm good. I ain't doing no hardcore stuff. I already got a scar on my back from when Mark Packer clotheslined me off the ring apron. I ain't doing no hardcore stuff. I'm already injured.
But you got Soldier GP on September, though, correct?
Soldier GP, I'll take.
I'm so bored.
You'll take that. Okay. Adonis Felios, maybe that's somebody that could maybe wrestle with Khan. I don't know. WC and IMF gang. Okay, you know what? We're coming up to our closing thoughts here, and I want to give everybody a chance to ask each other a question. So I'm going first with Omen Black and Soldier GP. So I'm going to give you guys the opportunity to ask a question each to Mr. Crenson and Mr. Zero Deus because he's here with us. So the floor is yours. Gentlemen, you can ask anything you want to those two.
Zero. Do you really think you're going to beat me in September? You think you have a chance in September?
Beat you. I don't particularly care about winning. I'm just here to have fun and hurt some people a little bit, As long as I have fun, it's all good.
So you think you're going to hurt me?
I think I'm going to have fun with you, sir.
He's going to wear you like a taco under his
My
armpit.
question for you is, where's this heat that you said you're going to bring on the Sportswire?
Heat. I've been talking more than Crenson. Where is Jovi? I thought Jovi was going to be on Sportswire tonight.
He's off having his slippery when wet.
You have not been saying anything.
Okay. I'm definitely the feistiest guy in the WCE, and you can't deny that.
I'll give it to you. You come back at us. I'm
starting to think you're the most challenged one in the WCE too, man. Back away from the camera a little bit.
But you're still not on our level.
You don't like me this close?
You talk about your injuries. I gotta ask
you're not supposed to eat your face paint. You know that, right?
What?
And Crenson, This isn't Hollywood, man. The underdogs don't come back and win. You realize that, right?
You know,
This is the real world. And you're going up against 300-pound men. You really think that you're going to beat us in our backyard, for one, and then you want to give us no rules.
you can ask Tom and Soldier. I fancy my way around thumbtacks, barbed wire, tables, and kendo sticks. So you just basically just gave me the whole day to beat you down.
Yeah, I play around with chairs.
I mean,
got one of the.
I don't know if
hardest
Zero needs. I don't even know if Zero really needs to be
in
told.
backyard wrestling.
Twice.
How many of those do you think you can handle?
We'll find out.
This is where in the
Zach, coach?
This is where we're gonna find this out.
Don't be like
He's
Marshall.
on drugs, right?
Okay, simple. You asked me how many I think I can take.
He's on drugs,
Well,
right?
we're gonna find out.
Just say no.
We're gonna find out. Now,
Zero, you look like you're about to you're trying to get your fix, like your next fix. I bet you suck Dirty Deadskin's dick for another fix.
Whoa! Whoa! I knew you guys were like that.
Look at him.
Isn't Felix your son? Who's the mom? Omen or GP?
That's the best you got.
Hey. Coming from what you said.
Clearly you're from WCE. Say you're from WCE without saying you're from WCE. Go.
What?
Perfect. Perfect.
You did it.
I couldn't hear what you said. It was a lot of mumbles. I think your second chin got in the way of your mouth and kind of muffled your words.
Good. Oh, yay. Good one.
Huh?
Omen, do you want to ask your counterparts, Crenson and Zero Deus, anything else that you'd like to ask them before we let these individuals have a chance and then coach?
I got nothing else to say to them.
All right, fair enough. Well, I think Jason Storm is piggybacking off that. The wild card, IMF is going to eat WC alive. They have zero chance. Well, we'll see.
You know why? Do you know why? Because he knows what we're capable of.
That's true. He has seen you guys firsthand. That is fair, and that's why he's the wild card.
Hey, we gotta pack up. We gotta leave.
All right, so we're getting close to closing thoughts here. So obviously, I'm going to go to the WCE guys. Nicholas Crenson, our RCW World Underground Champion, and Zero Deus. Would you guys each respectively like to ask Omen Black and Soldier GP a question?
I've got actually 2 questions.
I'll give you 2.
1. Is Jason Myers going to be ready? Because he's going to be in a war with me. And 2, what will you do? What will you do if we show you just a level of violence that earns your respect? You know what? I'm going to guarantee something. By the end of that tag team match, one of you, with a smile on your face, is going to shake my hand.
I'm going to tell you, by the end of that match, Jovi's going to be begging for a match with me.
Okay, all right. We'll have to see. Zero Deus, do you want to ask Omen Black and Soldier GP anything else before we move on to coach and then closing thoughts tonight?
I do have to run pretty quick here because I have a girlfriend that needs tending to. But
okay, so give us your
my main closing thought is everyone in this chat, if you could throw up some guns. I just know that I make all these guys look bad. Danny McBride, I love you. Ain't smoking the cigs, I love you. But you know.
So by girlfriend you mean blow up doll in the other room? All right.
Well, Mr. Deus, I'll let you go attend to that stuff. Obviously, you made an interesting return to Sportswire. I thank you for your time. Obviously, we can catch you on WCE Heat's Wrestling Championship Entertainment YouTube page at WCE Heat, Facebook at WCE Heat, and go enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we'll talk with you soon.
Go get your heroin fix or something. Calm down.
Coach, I'm going to give you the opportunity before we get to closing thoughts. Do you want to ask anybody here on the panel anything else before we move on
I'm
to
just
final
trying to
thoughts?
figure out when we started letting mall rats on here with painted faces.
I'm gonna give
Like,
him
Jesus Christ, dude! Like,
this right here.
he's already been told twice, and he's just mouth humping the camera and shit. Like, what the?
He's gonna sit. So he's like,
My only thought was, I guess maybe he's mimicking, I guess, what was it, Marilyn Manson's ex-guitarist John 5, I guess, where John 5 used to make those weird mannerisms. I don't know.
He was a drug addict.
Somebody got that. At least somebody thought that was funny.
Somebody
That
needs to
was
get
fine.
him a damn. Somebody needs to get him some of those pamphlets and brochures.
Listen, I'm just gonna say in September, I'm gonna
organization
give
that help
Hero
with
his
problems
fix.
like that.
Soldier, I could definitely see that you will. I think what we might have to do going forward, what they used to do in England, there was a guy, Chris Brooker, who was the host of the For Love of Wrestling, which would have all these ex-WWE guys come in and they would kind of talk with them. And I think we might have to have like promo class in WC. I mean, we'll have to figure that out, but that's a different time and a different place because
You want me
clearly,
to teach it?
we'll stay tuned for that. And you will not insult. No, I wasn't insulting John 5 that way. I actually like his work. He also plays guitar in Motley Crue now. He's the touring guitarist for Motley Crue. He's also the guitarist for Rob Zombie, and he also played on 2 of David Lee Roth's solo albums. So no, John 5, I'm actually a fan of, but that's kind of why I brought that up. But let's obviously get to closing thoughts. We had another interesting show, maybe interesting in a weird way, I guess, tonight, but we did have at least some back and forth. We had a stipulation here added to the RCW World Underground title match. It'll be a last man standing match and then a tag team match between WC's Nicholas Crenson and the resident rock star Sean Job against the Foundation's Omen Black, and Soldier GP will be an anything goes match. You can go to IMF Wrestling 666 on YouTube and also Instagram at IMF_wrestling for more information. So let's get to closing thoughts. Coach, I'm going with you first. Anything you want to say? I'm sure I'll see you this week. We'll have some more shows. In fact, we have DBW shows. Mr. Judgment's coming on Thursday. I'm sure you'll want to see Mr. Judgment then. I'm sure he'll be happy to see you once again. But we'll definitely see you a bunch of times this week coming up. But I want to give you the floor, give you some closing thoughts. Anything else you want to plug, share, or say? And the floor is yours. What's that?
Perfect Nugent.
Okay, fair enough. The floor is yours, Coach.
No, I'm like you. I want to talk about what you were saying before about like the gambling and everything like that. Like it's different, man. Like, and I wanted to speak from experience. Like yesterday on Taylor's show when I shot at Steel. Like,
I don't even want to. That was like a murder. You murdered him.
And yeah, some people may say the same thing about me. Like, I'm going into unfamiliar territory because I'm going over there to Summer Bash in Ohio, and I'm going for unfamiliar not only in the territory but the opponent. I've never been in the ring.
Don't worry, the Foundation's got your back.
Hey, don't worry, man. We're good.
I don't need outside help. All I know is this. I can tell you right now, I don't need outside help for Steel.
He's on next Sunday, by the way. Want to confirm?
Yeah,
Tom, were you aware that he has a match?
I am well aware of it, and that's why I was warning people, Coach, that Mr. Steele's coming on next Sunday. So I'm sure.
I'm aware.
I'm sure we'll see you in that spot.
I look at it like this. I look at it.
You can absolutely get that link. Yes,
Yeah,
we'll see
I want that link.
I look at it like this. I've seen
Yes,
Steele's
sir.
work. I've seen Steele's work. I've
Yes.
kept apart his matches. I've dissected his in-ring abilities, and I know exactly who he is and what he does. He's predictable. He, unfamiliar territory or not, unfamiliar opponent or not, he's predictable. And he's going to go into a match, a submission match, a submission Iron Man match. And I'm not going to sit here and call my shot, like say I'm going to run the table on, but I guarantee you, at the end of the day, at the end of that match, Steele's not going to be so fortunate. And that's me putting all my chips in the middle of the table. But I don't have a problem gambling everything. I'm not repping a Fed. I'm not repping a title. I'm not repping another tag team partner or organization. It's just me.
We gotta look at his application.
I'm putting all of my stuff on the table, and it's just me. I ain't got nobody else, weight of anything else on my shoulders with this. So I got no problem gambling. The only thing that I know is, and that Steele doesn't know, is that I can play with his mind more than he thinks I can. Obviously, it was a demonstration last night under his skin, had him boiling, had him freaked out, had him pissed.
That was the first time I saw Anthony Steele like that. I have to be
Hey, you
honest.
know what?
God, guys.
Your application's going on the top of the pile.
But I don't know. I will say one thing about Combat Joe. It was good that he took some advice and he did something different. Looks like he's got something that might have some potential to it. Good for him.
He ain't got no business with me.
This WCE IMF show, I want some links. I want to see some shit.
Well, we're going to have that. Oh, we're going to be covering it because this war is going to be continuing, I have a feeling, for weeks and weeks at a time.
And
you remember when when Owen Hart passed away?
Yeah.
That next Raw, they had a big show just for them.
Right.
I'm going to let you know, Crimson. On August 13th, we're going to have a show for you guys. Just like that.
I already see it now. In the arms of
we're going to put on in memory of Sean Jovi, Nicholas Crimson.
I'm going to get a plaque
like,
made for Crimson, and it's going to have ketchup packets in the center of it.
Well, at least you didn't reference when they had the Chris Benoit death tribute show. At least you didn't reference that show. So at least
I just know you're not going to have to put ketchup on your face.
Well,
we're going to make you bleed.
Oh, I'm counting on it.
And it's not going to be little drops either, or little spots to make you look like a Dalmatian.
And when you drive into town, when you come into town, don't rent a panel van and don't drive anywhere near schools.
Because when it's all said and done, it's going to be dripping.
Actually, by the time we're done, you're going to sound like Skulls when you get back to Wisconsin.
Stop.
Please
don't.
I know you have to drive, so I won't break. I know you have to drive, so we won't break your foot.
Is there anything else, Coach, you want to add before I move on to the rest of the guys for closing?
Like I said,
just break everything else.
Like, don't drive in a van and don't go near schools. That's it. That's all I got. That's like
good enough, Coach. I think that those were some.
He's only talking about how he's a sadist and all these other things. Dude, that's just.
Hey, don't bring up another celebrity because you called him Pee Wee Herman and Pee Wee died the next day.
Mr. Bean? No.
Now, if Mr. Bean dies tomorrow, I'm gonna kick your ass at Summer Bash.
No.
And your application is gonna go from the top of the pile to the bottom of the pile.
That's all right. I'm sure I can say something positive on the next show where you guys will like it and put me back on top. It's all right.
Oh, I have no doubt that when this show is released at some point, we will definitely be talking a lot of WTC and IMF.
Okay.
James Taylor wants to say hello. He says hi. We say hello to him.
Hey, can I announce that?
Yes.
July 6th, the opener for night two. James Taylor, Soldier GP.
And that's confirmed?
Last night.
Oh, I did see that. Correct. I didn't see
that. Taylor said he would do it.
He did say that, yes. And I actually
show up. Don't be booking. Don't get booked and then not show. That's the biggest no-no in wrestling.
He said July 6th.
If you book them, they will come.
It's like Field of Dreams almost. Remember the Field of Dreams movie? Was Field of Dreams shot? Wasn't Field of Dreams shot in Iowa, or am I getting that mixed up?
Iowa, yeah. If you build it, he will come.
I thought it was Iowa.
Yeah, Dyerville.
I figured that. Listen, I actually did figure that, and I did enjoy that movie.
They play a game there every year.
I was about to say,
the Yankees and Cubs, or the Yankees and White Sox.
Yes, it was the Yankees and White Sox. I remember that very well. Yeah, good enough here. All right, so fair enough here.
I guess we can confirm that there's one more company coming so far with one of their world champion, ROEW's world champion Jason Storm will be at Summer Bash too.
And I'm glad you brought him up actually because he is going to be on with us Monday night right after Monday Night Raw, and I'll ask him about that. I will certainly ask him about that situation. I will certainly do that. I will
talk about how we beat his ass tomorrow night too.
So I didn't watch
ROEW tomorrow.
It's not.
We have to go there tomorrow, so we'll beat his ass tomorrow, and he can tell you how bad.
I have one request, and if you guys can make this happen,
yes, sir.
It would be I just say bloody marvelous. I think because of last night's show with Sinner if he can get, like you said, and get a plane and get over here for Summer Bash, y'all need to make him an enforcer referee in one of these big matches. Me and Steele,
I got it.
Taylor,
If he
or the
shows
War
up,
Games match, something.
if he shows up, I will let him be referee for War Games.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I was going to say for your match, and he also can be referee for your match.
Okay.
Steele.
All right. Well, you know what? We'll have to see. I'm sure Monday night we'll have some of these gentlemen on, and we'll certainly talk with Mr. Storm about that. Plus, a lot of things going on in ROEW. We kind of. You'll definitely get a link on that one. That one you'll get a link. I have a few other shows which I don't remember who's coming on yet, but I'm sure that one Monday you'll definitely be on.
You said what day is Steele coming on?
He's next Sunday. He's next Sunday night.
So the 13th after
Correct.
our in memory of WC show.
Well, I'm going to get to Nicholas Crenson here for his closing thoughts, as he will have something certainly different to say about that. So, Mr. Crenson, I am giving you the floor, giving you some closing thoughts. Anything else you want to plug, share, say, and the floor is yours.
Simple. I'm coming to Iowa for a fight, and I know you boys plan on making me bleed.
Can't hear you.
I said I'm coming to Iowa for a fight, and I know you boys are planning on making me bleed. You're planning on, destroying us. Good luck trying.
We're not
going
to do it.
Like I said,
we're not trying.
This ain't WCE. We don't try to do something. We just do it.
That's not James Marshall. I'm not Craven Rage.
All this right now is just talk. When we get in the ring, go ahead.
Have you seen our videos?
Make me bleed.
Have you seen our videos?
Yes.
We're not all talk. We whip ass, kid.
Go ahead, ask Tom if we're all talk.
I know you're not all talk, but right now this is just talk. Talk does not matter once we hit in the ring.
I'm going to talk the whole time I'm wrestling.
I'll give you credit, though. You actually speak more than your counterpart, and you speak more than your interstate champion. You speak more than your world champion. So you got some respect from us on that. But as soon as that
Phonics to WCE
on the 12th, that respect goes out the window, and we beat the hell out of both of you. This has been a long time coming. A long time coming. And when August 12th, again, we're going to shut you guys up.
You know what, Crenson? You want to call yourself the Messiah. I'm going to say this. Be blessed. Be blessed the IMF chose you.
Well, we'll certainly find out, and I'll answer this. You can go to WC Heat on YouTube and Facebook, WCHeat.com. Yeah, I'm definitely interested. Definitely, if you guys want me to talk, I'd be happy to talk. And thank you, Joe.
Yeah, we want you to commentate. We've been telling you this, Tom.
I know. I'm trying to give him a nice answer.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of TBK, you can hear us on TBK's podcast, Off the Dome, on Sunday on Spotify.
I will be checking that out because actually I just got a new phone with some new applications on it. So I will be checking that out. I just want to know if Crenson's parents in the basement of electricity guarantee there's a place of meatloaf and a pillow fort just off the screen.
By the way, TBK, we're also trying to get him to be another commentator with you, Tom.
I will look forward to it. Anything I can do to help TBK, please give me a link. And anything if he wants to get in touch with me, I'm happy to listen to any of his shows. So, okay, Omen and Soldier, since it's your home yard that we're going to next weekend to watch WC versus IMF, I figured I would give you guys the final thoughts tonight before we sign off for this week's show. And I give you guys the floor. Anything else you want to plug, share, or say? The floor is yours.
I love this. This ain't even our time. This is your time, Crimson. And look who gets the final say. The main event.
It's my show.
It's our show, right? Foundation show.
I mean, if it's Foundation.
You had a TBW guy on there for a minute.
Ask Tom. It's my show.
The women's basketball players yesterday who were even interviewed asked about Omen off the air, actually. So I actually did tell them, yes. The women's pro players like you, Omen. I mean, maybe if you
want to dribble your ball.
You're not part of the NBA, so who cares? But anyways.
Well, you never know, Omen. You never know.
Maybe they want to dunk you.
Now, Crenson, I want to know how stupid you sound by giving us no rules, right?
Yeah.
All right, James Marshall. Anyways,
Hey, as long as he knows it,
I guarantee you this. I'm gonna put you through tax, tables. I'm gonna hit you with a kendo stick. And Jovi,
look,
I guarantee.
why are you telling him, man? Why are you telling him? Just let him find
Because
out.
we want him to know what.
We're giving him spoilers.
Yeah, we're giving him spoilers. We're letting him know what.
No, man, come on, no spoilers. Shock value. No spoilers, shock value.
No, we're telling him what we're
All
gonna
right,
do to him.
you want shock value? You're gonna whoop our ass. That's shock value.
We're gonna tell you. We're gonna tell you what we're doing to you. You want to know why we're gonna tell you?
They're gonna hit you with a
try to stop us.
right in the face.
But you can't. Neither one of you can. Again, it might be cliche to say, but you've never been in the ring with someone like us. We're not those bums from WCE. I believe we've been called the measuring sticks of the backyard.
Look, I've had enough of
We're
this.
the best thing
All
out
you gotta
there.
do is stop talking
And
about
how does that
measuring
make
your
you
sticks
feel?
on these shows.
Because you guys have been out there longer. I'll give you that. 17 years, 20 years. And we've overpowered you, and you're in our shadow now.
Skulls, it's glad to see you got out of the hole I buried you in the other day.
Don't bring up Skulls. Please don't bring it up.
He got enough signal to comment.
Reminds me of the Rush album Signals. Please get some better signals already. I mean,
After August 12th, Crimson, you're going to be like Jack Delta, and you're going to retire.
And then you guys use Delta airline miles to fly away.
Well, I guess
it's not going to be my elbow. It's going to be my body.
Make sure you guys bring your phone cards.
Jovi, why didn't you stop me?
Well, I guess on that note, we'll get to a couple more.
I'll whoop your ass any day. Ask your dad.
James Taylor.
What the hell is fucking commenting for? Like, what the hell?
Just watch out, All Hell. All Hell's breaking loose. Adonis Felios. Thank you, Adonis, for the kind words. And also here, I don't know why Drake Silverwolf has come in here. He thinks it's going to be his show next. I don't want to ask right now.
Okay, is he telling us to stop talking about Craven Rage? Or Craving Rage? Craving Rage.
He can't even use proper grammar.
Drake Silverwolf, stop us from talking about Craven Rage.
Listen, remember the old adage, quit while you're ahead? It almost feels like sometimes it's like the Harlem Globetrotters and the Washington Generals. Just quit while you're ahead. Listen, obviously, we'll certainly see what happens. Undoubtedly, we are going to be all looking forward to WC versus IMF next weekend. We can certainly go to IMF Wrestling 666 on YouTube for more information. WC Heat on YouTube as well for more information. And I am looking forward to seeing what Nicholas Crenson, Omen Black, and Soldier GP do in the ring next weekend. And we'll have more coverage throughout the week on Sportswire Radio, especially Monday night, right after Monday Night Raw with the wild card Jason Storm, the ROEW champion. And gentlemen, I certainly thank you for your time. I'm looking forward to next weekend, and I'm sure I'm going to see you guys throughout the week as I always do. And one more word from James Taylor. I can stop Soldier Boy easily. It'll be a walk in the park.
I just want to say this. The past 3 times WC's been on here, someone's had to get the shovel for us because we just bury them in the holes they leave.
Taft Taylor.
WCE's champion hasn't been on here.
When it's all said and done on the 6th of July, you're going to be looking up, man.
Well, Craven Rage is coming back next week, by the way, Coach. He is going to be back here next week on Sportswire. He's waiting to confirm the date. He's going to be here. He's in the house, and he says he's got a lot to say.
Bring people like that on my show, Tom.
And Skulls, for whatever reason, I don't know why Skulls is jumping in this conversation. So, Skulls, we can certainly talk another time. But
I'll whoop Drake Silver and you, Skulls, at the same time.
You better watch out. It kind of sounds like Silver Wolf wants to touch your silver back.
So that is why, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight on Sportsfire Radio. Gentlemen, I'm wishing you a lot of luck in the ring. I will definitely see all of you. I know it's before next Saturday, and enjoy your weekend. And I'm looking forward to
all that luck you want to wish it to them, because we don't need luck.
I hope everybody has a great weekend. How about that? And enjoy SummerSlam.
Tom,
if
you're
you're
gonna be asking, why do you guys do that to them? That's what
Y'all have a night. Y'all find a good snowball stand while you're at it.
Well, I'm certainly looking for a snow cone cup, certainly from 7-Eleven. Maybe we can still get those if they serve them. But thank you, everybody, for tuning in on Sportswire Radio. We will be back here Sunday. I think I have Chase Wakenfield from DBW, and I think I'm waiting on one more. And Monday night, ROEW for sure confirmed right after Raw is War with Mr. Jason Storm, the wild card. Some of these gentlemen will be here as well. If you're on sportnarium.com/player, going back to your regularly scheduled programming. If you're on YouTube and Twitter, I'll be back here Sunday. Stay tuned for more details tomorrow. My name is the Reverend Tom Rice. Good night, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are on Sportswire Radio, the #1 global radio station.